Good morning, everyone, and welcome back.
Good morning
to
Internet.
Another podcast. Wow. Gosh, we're still doing these, guys. Can you believe it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've had a very busy week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went.
Is it because is it because Hunter Biden was found guilty on 3 counts of 3 felonies, and you've been furiously blogging and spreading information?
Corruption starts at the top and works its way down. I don't know. It's just absolute gibberish. I went to see the baseball on Sunday. The Mets and the Phillies played in the London series, which was 2 games.
What?
In London Stadium.
Oh, man.
I'm a big Mets fan. I love baseball, and I went.
And did they play burr, 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 burr,
Yeah.
burr, burr? Oh my God.
Like
Lucky. I
London
wish I could
Stadium
go.
was the Olympic Park. I think it was a running track or something. They've converted it. West Ham, the football team, play there. But obviously the season's over, so it was free. And they converted it to a baseball park. And honestly, an amazing job. Like I've been to them in the US. I've been to a few in the US. It literally looked like a purpose-built baseball stadium. It was really something else. They had all the seats were in the right place. The netting was up, the field, everything. So that was great. And it was an experience. It was a very, very bad experience. And then it was a very, very good experience.
Wow.
And
Okay.
yeah.
So they've got the whole diamond.
Yeah.
And everything.
Everything.
Do they have like the halftime? Do they have the mascots? Do they have all the
Everything.
popcorn?
They had-
What is it? Is there not popcorn?
I can't
hot
remember.
dog.
They had it all. Yeah, they had it all. I
Like,
mean,
it was.
if you were stepped out of America and walked in there, there'd be a few subtle differences, but
Yeah.
you wouldn't really feel out of place. And I mean,
I feel like I've seen so many of these on telly, but never been to one.
it was great.
I've seen
It was great. We should go next year. I'm not kidding.
So
It is
many
so much fun.
ball
I'm
games.
down for that
they call
for
it,
sure.
They call it ball games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take me out to the ball game.
Let's go to the ball game.
They
Take me out
had
to the fair.
all the usual tootling sort of doodle-doo-doo-doo, and all the music and stuff like that. Like between batters, they got the walk-up music for each batter. They had the guys that do the chase. I think it's from like first base round to third base on the outside, sort of, via home plate. They have to wear these big suits where they have giant heads.
Yeah.
They did that. They
Wow.
did like the ceremonial first pitch was Rob McElhenney, his wife, whose name I can never remember. She's also on the show.
Yeah.
Oh,
D,
wow.
sweet D.
From It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because they're big Phillies fans,
Wow.
and because of they're obviously over here a lot for the Wrexham thing,
Oh,
they were there.
they did the ceremonial pitch. And who sung the national anthem?
It was for the Americans. It was a lady who's on Broadway. I didn't know her, and it was that
Broadway, you say?
Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that Welsh opera singer, I can't remember her name either. Catherine.
Charlotte Church.
No, not Charlotte Church. Catherine something or other.
Catherine Jenkins.
I don't. Yeah, possibly.
I think
have
she's
no
Irish,
idea.
actually.
No, I think she's. Is she? Let's have a. Either way, they sang, and that was amazing.
Right.
But behind me, there were a couple of Mets fans. There were some Mets fans scattered about. A lot of Phillies fans.
Really?
A lot of Phillies fans.
What,
But
they
yeah.
actually made the trip?
Yeah,
over
these
the
guys
pond.
behind me, this father and son, they flew out on the Thursday. They watched both games. They flew back Monday morning, and I was like, "That
Were
is."
they yelling
hardcore.
things like "Get off the field, you bums" to the
All
Mets
that
and
kind of
stuff?
stuff.
Oh my God, man! You got the
"Fuck
authentic.
you, ugly!" Like when Chase Utley came out for the ceremonial first pitch, they were yelling stuff. Go fuck
Wow.
yourself, Phillies! Like really yelling. I was like, "That sounds good. Let's go, Mets! Go on, Brian, hit the ball!" All that. They were really into it. I was loving
Good
it.
eye, Brian.
Yeah,
good eye.
good eye. You seen it now? All that kind of shit. But I tell you what, the people I was sat with for the first 6 innings were the worst people I've ever sat with to watch anything ever in my life.
Man.
It was unbelievable. Let me tell you what happened. I get
This
there.
is it. So I'm so interested in who goes to this, right? Because
Well, who did you go with,
is it-
though?
Alone. I went alone.
Oh my
Wow,
God.
why
man.
did
No
you
one
go?
would come with me.
Why didn't you ask? I would have gone.
What, you going
I
to
would've
fly
gone.
over from Jersey?
Yeah, it's not that far.
I mean,
Sips is looking
I've
for an
seen you
excuse
over
to
here
get
so
out.
rarely. I honestly just didn't expect you to
I don't
come
travel
over.
that much, but
Yeah.
I would for that.
I'm sorry.
I think you didn't invite the right people, or you secretly wanted to go alone.
No, I
know.
desperately did not want to go alone. None of my mates
Oh.
that live in London would go. They were like, baseball, fuck off. A few of the guys on my Discord went, but like I bought my tickets, they bought their tickets. We're not like sat together or anything. We were just like, oh, you're going to the game? I was like, yeah. Like I asked everyone I knew in London. I didn't think anyone would travel for it. I should have asked. I apologize. But yeah, it was like
I guess a lot of Americans travel to come and see it here.
Yeah, there were loads of Americans. I don't know what percentage.
They do try. I'll tell you something. When I was in Disney a couple of weeks ago, filled with Americans, man. I don't know if it was like a holiday for them or something. Like
in France, you mean?
Yeah, in France. Yeah, they were everywhere, constant. Like it was crazy. You're not used to it though, because every other time I've been, it's mostly like Europeans,
Yeah.
But this time just felt like it was swamped with Americans for some reason.
Maybe it's summer holidays for them.
It's a good exchange rate or something. I don't know.
So yeah, do you reckon I was going to say, is it Americans on holiday or is it like Americans who live here?
It was a combination.
They might go to Paris and they might think like, oh, let's just go to Disney for the day while we're here, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because like we did that when we went to Japan. Like we didn't even know that there was a Disney in Tokyo when we went to Japan. But then while we were there, we're like, oh shit, we should go check it out. It might be fun. So maybe that's what they do. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, Paris is a very touristy place. It's not, wouldn't be uncommon for loads of Americans to be there.
I think it's one of those destination things for Americans to go to Paris. Because it's
Paris,
like
France.
So
it's got to be Paris, France.
Paris,
though.
France. It's so archetypically Europe, isn't it? It's like, you got to go see Paris.
Yeah.
But so I'd say, I don't know what percentage. I heard a lot of American voices, a lot of Americans. I figured over here for work, or
Did they have the Let's Get Ready to Rumble guy as well? Or
no, that's not for baseball. They don't do that.
Sometimes they have him out though for different sporting events and stuff, just like for a bit of fun.
Because
I think they had him at WW. Well, at the time it was WWF Monday Night Raw.
That's wrestling though, isn't it?
Yeah, they brought him out for that.
Yeah, but he's a fighting guy. He's not a baseball guy.
I don't know
if
he's...
That's why they got Catherine Jenkins. And,
the
Always Sunny guy.
She said it. Let's get ready to rumble.
No, she can't say it though. It's copyright by the Let's Get Ready to Rumble guy.
That's true. She'd have to say. She could say it in Welsh, maybe.
Yeah.
But so I get there. I've got my seat. My row for about 12 seats is empty, which was a surprise. Then in front of me, it's packed, and behind me, it's packed. All Phillies fans, all Welsh. And I was like, that's unusual. Why are they all Phillies fans from Wales? Turns out they're from Wrexham. I guess they've come because of Rob McElhenney, and I think they're Wrexham fans. It took me about 5 innings to figure this out, because the Wrexham accent is seemingly very, very different from the Welsh accents I'm used to, your Davs, your Sophies, you know what I mean? Those kind of Welsh accents, I guess the Southern Welsh accents. The Wrexham accent was very different. I thought they were Scousers for a bit. I really couldn't put my finger on it. They were the worst people to watch baseball with. The absolute worst. I get there. There's a couple in front of me. They've bought the meter-long hot dog. It's like a yard long. It's so big, and they're struggling to eat it to the point where when the woman, some of her friends turn up, she turns to them and shows them her hands, and it still makes me retch thinking about it. They are covered in cheese.
This is very familiar to me. People often struggle eating my meter-long hot dog and end up covered in cheese as well.
Dude, it was so gross. It was like a toddler. And her partner's hands are also covered in cheese. Their mates are laughing. They just licked their hands clean. Like,
oh my God.
Like dogs.
Like animals.
It was disgusting.
Fucking barnyard animals.
It was so bad. And then they're constantly joking about how shit baseball is. Oh, I think we could do better, don't you? Hey! And because they're all sat in different parts, sort of closer, within shouting distance, any joke that one of them makes, they then have to yell to each of the other groups and get a different reaction from them. Of course, hysterical laughter. It's just like Rounders, isn't it? That was a very popular joke. Hilarious. I think we could do better than this, don't you, Tony? That was a very popular joke. Cool. I don't even know what the score is, mate. Lamau, that was a very, very popular joke. No idea what's happening. Do you? No, me neither, mate. Hey! Over and over and over again. Standing up, sitting down, changing seats, getting food, getting drinks. All of this for 6 fucking innings. And I was losing my mind. There's like a really tense at bat, like bases loaded.
What was the final score?
The Mets won 5-4, I believe.
Oh, okay. So it could have been a pretty long one then.
It could have gone extra innings. Eventually, some guy comes over, American guy. I didn't recognize him. They all knew him. And he gave them these passes to go to this sort of backstage bar. I guess because anyone who was a Wrexham fan was probably sent here by Rob McElhenney or something like that.
Oh, I see.
So it was literally all the usual football fans for Wrexham were deposited here. They were having a great time. Like, I'm not saying saying they weren't having fun. All I'm saying is their fun came at the expense of all the other baseball fans who were actually there for the baseball. It was insufferable. Just if you don't know what's happening, just go do something else. You're not watching the game. They barely watched the game. They watched like 2 minutes of it. They were just talking, drinking, eating. You could do that anywhere. Standing up all the time. Every time someone steps up to the plate, they're like standing up and having a fucking convo. It was unbearable. When they left, they have the 7th inning stretch where everyone takes a slightly extended break to go and get a beer and use the toilet or whatever. They left. All the seats filled up with actual baseball fans because they were good seats. We were behind the Mets dugout. Great.
Wait, so they left during the 7th inning stretch?
Yeah, dude. They left
to go to their private
to go to the bar.
bar. Yeah.
And I was like, fantastic. And I guess they got to meet Rob McElhenney and all that. And you know, he good luck, Rob. Like, you can have him. I could not believe the change in tone. I was gonna leave. I was like, if the Mets get absolutely wiped out in the 5th inning, like if we're down 8-0 or something, I'm just gonna go home because this is unfucking bearable. It was that bad. One thing I will say, when the game was over, I was like, shit, you've got like, I don't know how many thousands of people there were there, 60, 70, whatever. It's gonna take forever to get home. So I thought, man, it's gonna be like queuing up for 2 hours to get on the underground. I don't know how they did it. I walked out. I was regular walking pace in this huge crowd of people. I get to the station. There's a train there. I get on it. I get a seat. I'm on my way home. It was amazing. Nice. They've really figured that out. But yeah, so that was the baseball. Amazing. Wow. Amazing to go to. But if I went with friends, it would be different. Fuck me. These people almost ruined it. And it was something I've been looking forward to for ages. My team playing in London. Baseball. Very exciting. Unbelievable.
Man, that's a really cool story.
Well, I'd like to counterbalance that story with my own story.
Go for it.
Last Sunday, I mowed my lawn.
Oh, hell yeah. What happened?
It's now mowed.
Did you hit anything weird in the grass?
Not a thing.
Have you ever been mowing and hit a snail?
The grass was about 1 meter high, though. I had really left it. Yeah.
Did you trim it down first before going at it?
I trimmed it down. Yeah, I trimmed it all down and then mowed it. But it looks nice now. But actually, it's all dead now because I think all of the growth in the water was like higher up. And everything down at the bottom was like suffering.
It all goes yellow and shit, right?
Yeah, it's all yellow and shit now. But, you know.
It was good to life.
It's a good time.
Sure.
Yeah. It's nice to get out there, you know. I got one of those really adjustable streamers because we've got a tree in our backyard. It's kind of tough to get under, so I made the streamer like really small. And then I had to sort of like shuffle in under the tree to stream in and around the tree. And my family thought this was very funny and took a picture of me.
Nice.
Which I'm not going to share because half of my ass is showing in the picture as well. So there you go. Yeah, it was one of those Sundays, you know. Everybody, no, nobody knows. Okay, all right.
I haven't had a lawn in 30 years.
When you got back there, stones?
Yeah,
paving stones.
Yeah, we got a paved garden.
Chippings? No chippings.
No chippings.
No, it's not very good for the for the ecosystem. You know, we should regreen it.
Okay, so you know, let me just explain something to you. All right,
you should see all the bees we get in our backyard.
When we moved in here,
so lazy.
When we moved in here, there was grass. It was dead because the houses around here are just tall enough and narrow enough, and you have just enough space so there's not enough sun for a lawn. You need a good amount of sunlight for a lawn, or the corners just die. And you end up with this patchy lawn, and it was shit. So we had it paved. What we have at the back is like a raised bed teeming with flowers and plants, bees all over the place.
Yeah, but that's artificial. They're
not
fake
artificial.
bees.
They're not fake.
They're wanna bees.
They're real. Hey!
Nice.
That's a little round of applause for that one.
Thanks. Well, at least, thanks.
I mean, look, bees don't. I guess grass helps them a little bit.
I don't think grass is very
flowers,
good either.
Right?
Honestly, I'm only messing with you. Like,
we tried our best. We got a tiny London garden. What do you want me to fucking rewild the world from my back garden?
You should write a song about it.
Yeah,
in the style of the Beatles. You know, that sounds like a Beatles song, doesn't it?
What does?
Sitting in my tiny London garden.
Got to work in a weed reference because that was really cool back then.
Yeah.
What simple times that even hinting that you were smoking weed, everyone was like, he's talking about weed. Can you believe it?
I mean, it's still the same though, isn't it?
No, they just say it
people
now.
still react to all of the weed triggers the same way.
Yeah, but it's not like what were they? Fucking Cypress Hill was subtle. Like,
No.
some of their songs would open with the
It's
sound
from
of
the
a bong
bong.
hit. Exactly. Like, literally just singing about it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Do you know what I did? Do you know what I did yesterday? Or sorry, the day before yesterday.
Did you trim your lawn?
I didn't. I had
Oh, shit, you
I
don't
had
have one.
full body examination.
I
Like
thought you were
health
going to say
check.
massage.
No, sadly not.
Oh, right.
I was in an
Oh.
MRI machine for 50 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
grief.
You ever been in one of those?
No.
I have, yeah, for my prostate thing. And guess what? In September, I'm going in again.
Oh, wow.
They're monitoring it.
Oh,
so
wow. Okay.
I know. Yeah. I haven't had to have any more ass play or anything.
They
But,
didn't go up there for me at
Every
all.
6 months, I have to get a blood test, and they examine it to check the PSA level.
Well, I didn't have any fingers anywhere. It was
Well, I guess
Luckily
they just
for
looked
you.
inside you with the old MRI.
Yeah, they had the MRI.
Yeah.
instead.
Did you have like the slanted mirror thing so that you could look at a projection on the wall outside of the machine?
no.
Oh, you were just like in.
I just in there.
In there.
in the tube?
Yeah.
Like you,
Oh,
like
man.
you're going to be launched like a torpedo.
Yeah, and I get claustrophobia quite
Yeah.
badly. So
No, in that thing for sure.
It was
I mean,
bad.
I get it, but I had it in that. But luckily, when I went in, they had like it was like a little slanted mirror. So when you look straight into the mirror, you could actually just see the room
nothing.
outside.
I was
It
just
was
all I
awesome.
had was a ceiling 2 inches from my head.
Fuck.
And those things are so loud. I had no
No, I
idea.
know,
I had to
yeah.
have earplugs in. Then they put headphones on, and the lady said to me, the nurse said to me, "What music do you want to play?" And when someone asked me that, I'm like, "Geez, 50 minutes?" I was like, "What do you have?" She goes, "Anything on YouTube." So they just
K-pop, please.
and I was like, geez, I don't know. She's like, what do you like? And I was like, what do most people go for? She was like, oh, classical music to calm them down. I was like, oh, I don't really like classical music. She was like, what about Oasis? I was like, please don't play Oasis.
Oh
I'll have
my
to get out of the
God.
machine. And then
I'd be like an
Okay.
animal in there. I'd be
Yeah.
clawing at the walls and everything.
and then she's like, what about like Led Zeppelin? I was like, yeah, fine. Put some Led Zeppelin on. Forgetting.
Oh man, you get some Moby
Do you
Dick
have
on
any
there.
NWA?
No
Moby-
NWA.
Do you have any
Get some
gangster rap?
Moby Dick extended edition. It's just drums. It's just a massive drum lead up and solo and stuff.
It was
Go
just,
for it.
I forgot that Robert Plant is a fan of going, ha, ha, like that. It's kind of nerve wracking when you're in a tube. So about 20 minutes in, the guy comes over on the mic and he's like, everything all right, sir? I was like, could you change the music, please? And he's like, what do you want to change it to? And I was like, Fleetwood Mac. Put some Fleetwood Mac on. So he put some Fleetwood Mac
By
on.
that point, you'd had time to think.
Yeah.
That's all you had. That's all you were doing. You were like, what
I was
else?
like, why didn't I
I've got
say
20
Fleetwood Mac?
minutes to think about other
Yeah.
music that is not what I chose.
Something nice and relaxing. And then when they put that on, it was better. And then they took some blood and everything. And then this other doctor did an ultrasound of my balls.
Right.
So
Wow.
I lie on the bed. I had to take my trousers down, like everything, pants, trousers down to my knees. Lie there. He gives me a tissue to hold my old fella up, and then he gets gel, puts it all over my nutsack, and goes at it with the fucking ultrasound. And he was like, "Yep, all good." I was like, "Great," but I didn't get to see. But I really was trying to crane my neck to have a look at my nads on the monitor, and I thought, what are the kind of jokes that people would make in this situation that he's sick of hearing? And I was tempted to say, like, is it twins or something like that?
right.
But I thought, I
Classic.
just won't say anything. And he did the scan. I didn't realize that they would do that. But he was like, yeah, did it. It was great.
I can't not imagine the video that I just posted in general. When somebody even mentions Led Zeppelin now, I'm ruined every time. If anybody mentions Led Zeppelin, my immediate thought is this stupid video.
Phil Swift
So
sings
stupid.
Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin, then crashes into a store.
It's fucking so stupid because he sings it, but then it goes like louder as he crashes into the store. It's fucking dumb.
Okay.
It's
That's
so
very
dumb.
stupid.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
a
It
very
gets me
stupid
every
video.
time. Every time it gets me. Anyway.
So yeah, I had a similar thing with the ultrasound balls.
Oh, yeah?
It was good. Yeah, it's exactly the same.
Well, recently.
Deal. Yeah, I did. I'm sure I mentioned it on the podcast. Well, anyway, exactly the same experience. Yeah, even down to the tissue.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting.
It just the MRI thing was really. I came out and I was expecting to be super nervous, but I found it very relaxing. Eventually, it was kind of like an isolation booth. You know, it was like one of those.
Yeah,
even with the clonking,
just with the clunking of magnets in the background.
No, I immediately regretted having any music. Like I thought I could just lie here, and I found
you just wanted to hear the clunking and clanking.
Yeah, I found it. It was just like trying to predict what was going to buzz next, trying to detect if there was any weird vibrations. The questions they asked was like, "Do you have any metal in your eyes?"
Yeah. Did you move even slightly?
I did not move at all. My entire body had gone to sleep.
You cannot even move slightly. Like I adjusted myself in between, thinking it was fine to do this, and she was like, did you just move? And I was like, yeah, I just had to adjust myself. Like my ass was falling asleep or whatever. And she's like, oh gosh, okay, try not to move. We have to restart this bit. No, sorry.
No, I did not move a muscle.
Yeah,
but I was getting because I got into as comfortable a position as I could, lying on this fucking thing, and I just thought, just don't move, don't even focus on not moving,
don't even think about it.
All I focused on. I do this when I can't sleep. Sometimes I relax every muscle in my body one by one until it's completely. Because you'll notice that sometimes when you're trying to fall asleep, something is tensed up, like your hand.
This is a very common relaxation technique.
It's really good.
That's recommended.
Get in there.
It works brilliantly.
Close your eyes. Imagine that there's a little bit of water under you, and that you're just stuck in a cave.
And it's rising slowly. Just imagine it.
In the middle of nowhere, and nobody is going to ever help you.
Imagine there's a bus coming towards you. Yeah, just it's coming faster and faster.
Imagine you're on a U-boat, and the captain has just loaded you because they're out of torpedoes, and he shouts, "Fire!" Just imagine that.
But in German.
But in Deutsch.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is the word for fire
Feuer!
In German?
It's Feuer.
Flam.
Shouts Feuer.
That is, it's literally Feuer. I've played U-boat enough.
Is it?
Yeah.
And it's actually fuego. No, that's Spanish. Sorry.
Fuego.
English to.
You've been launched into the briny depths towards a British battleship.
And your only chance of survival is Elon Musk developing a submarine that can navigate the caves and get to you.
If you say no,
accuse somebody of being a pedophile along the
way. That, you know what's funny is that was the moment that was the moment people started to realize, oh, he's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know much about him, honestly. I just thought, oh, man, this guy's really pushing, like, space and everything. Holy crap, he wants to go to Mars. I just thought, I don't know much about him, but it was interesting. Yeah. And then that happened. I was like, oh.
He's a nut.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Immediately, I looked into it, and then I was like, oh, okay, well, this guy is insane.
You know, did you watch the movie they made about it?
No, I saw it came up.
I didn't see a movie about it. I watched a big documentary about it.
So there's a movie too. And the movie is actually not bad. I mean, it's very much, you know what's coming. But they completely skip over the Elon incident. And I thought it would have been funny if they dramatized it, but they didn't.
It's the Thailand cave rescue from like 5 years ago or whatever, right? Where there was those school kids. Were they like a football team?
Something like that. And the coach was like, let's go for a walk. And traditionally, this is like an area people walk. It's not unusual to go and explore the caves. It's like no big deal. But I think there was some kind of flash flood or unsuspecting rain, and it flooded unsuspectedly. Like it was seasonally unusual. Something along those lines. Could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure that the coach was like, no one was like, you fucking dick. You made them swim underwater to go and explore the caves. No, these caves are most of the time you can go in them, no problem. But in the rainy season, you cannot. And they got stuck in there because of that water. It is an amazing story that they got them out. And these guys, these experts in cave diving and stuff, we've spoken about all of us, I think, have agreed we would never do it in a million fucking years.
No way. I would never go into a part of a cave that I had to swim to get to.
No.
That would just be, there's no way.
I think the issue for me is that there's like, you're going either often so deep or so far that if there's a problem, it's like 10 minutes to get out. Do you know what I mean? There's like, it's like, it's not like you could just surface, like in a video game or whatever. Or there's like a convenient air pocket.
Like a couple of things for me. I'd go into like the mouth of a cave and just have a look around just to get like a feel for what the rest of the cave would probably be like. But if there was like a weird rumbling, I'd be out of there immediately. If I heard a voice coming from deep in the cave, I mean, again, immediately I'd be out of there.
That's what you're worried about.
It wouldn't take much to get me out of there, really. Like, I would be like, okay, well, this is cool. Let's go. Yeah, I'd just be out of there. Like, I would not want to spend very much time at all inside.
You'd be like,
just stepping in to say, oh, yeah, I went in and had a look. And that would be enough for me.
You'd be like, what's that? Oh, that's a bat. Yeah, I'm leaving. No, wait, they're normal. They're perfectly allowed it. No, goodbye. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Enjoy your bats. I'm out of here.
Yep. Hello, fellow adventurers. Are you in need of some epic dice for your tabletop session? Then look no further than Misty Mountain Gaming. Their dice are made from all sorts of materials: stone, resin, glass, metal, silicon, liquid core, even bone. You name it. Misty Mountain Gaming dice are incredible. They sent us some. I love mine. They are incredibly well made, very weighty, reassuring. They offer free shipping within the US if you're fortunate enough to live there, and they're perfect for any RPG system you can think of, whether it's Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, Shadowrun, Savage Worlds, even math games. If dice are involved, Misty Mountain should be involved too. Misty Mountain is the only dice company that offers a lifetime warranty on all their dice sets, including stone and glass. That's right, lifetime. And they got a bunch of other gaming accessories too: leather bags, leather books, dice trays, miniatures. You want it, they've got it. I saw their stand at Comic-Con. Tons of stuff, all really well made. Lovely, 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 lovely. So if you need some very schmancy fancy dice that won't break the bank, go to mistymountaingaming.com and use code Triforce. That's Misty Mountain Gaming, all one word, .com, and use code Triforce to get 10% off your order. These dice are fantastic. You will love them, you will worship them, and eventually they will take over your life. Misty Mountain Gaming. Now on with the show.
I want to say I've been watching a documentary on Channel 4 of all channels this week. Is the documentary about the woman whose husband tried to kill her during a skydive. Do you remember hearing about this?
No.
It happened in 2015.
What, was he like going to cut her chute or something?
He basically tampered with the chute in the bathroom before she got on to do the skydive. And she was like, she'd skydived. Like, she had like 2,500 skydives under her belt or whatever. She just they just had a baby, and she was, a bit sleep deprived and stuff. But and the husband's like, why don't you go for a skydive? Like, it'll be good for you. Get away from the kids just for a bit, and whatever. And she's like, yeah, okay, I'd like to do that. And then basically just tampered with the chute before she went, and then she jumped 4,000 feet plus and survived.
Jesus.
Yeah, so she survived the fall. And then the police are like, this is crazy. Like, this never happens, because your main chute failed and the reserve chute failed as well. And she's like, I mean, I've never even heard of this before. And I've done a lot of skydiving. And they're like, okay, well, who could have been with, around your chute or whatever? And she's like, well, my husband. And they're both like military. Like, she's like a physiotherapist for the military, and he's like a sergeant or something. And they're part of a skydiving club. They go like all the time and stuff. But the more they find out about the husband, he's just a psychopath, basically.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's like having an affair, and he's telling this woman that he's having an affair with, that like their child isn't his, that his wife had an affair and cheated on him, which she hadn't. And then they're like, is there anything else that you want to like tell us now that like we've told you all this? Anything weird happened recently? And she's like, yeah, come to think of it, like 2 weeks ago we had a gas leak at our house.
Oh, so shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he just tried to fucking kill all of them, and that didn't work, and then did the parachute thing. So
he's never coming out.
Yeah, I think the first trial failed to reach a verdict, and then he was retried again in 2018. And he was sentenced to life in prison.
Holy crap!
It's mad, eh? It is mad. The documentary is kind of like they interview her eventually, but there's like a bit of like dramatization, and then interviews with like the police that were involved, and people that were involved in and around the incident and stuff. But it's really interesting. But like, it's fucking crazy too. Like, it's just can't believe it. It's wild. So there you go. It's on Channel 4. It's called I can't remember, the fall or something like that.
Yes,
murder plot. The skydive.
The fall skydive murder plot. 3-part documentary. I love watching these things.
Watch it. It's so far it's been really good. Yeah.
Just it's so interesting just it's like almost like reality TV in a sense.
Yeah.
With a casual side of attempted murder, but no one actually died.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
Is
Yeah,
actually quite a positive vibe.
Crazy.
There's a part in it where they're like, the detectives are like, okay, we need to know who we're dealing with here, because they interviewed the guy and then they wanted to interview him again, but they got a psychologist in to interview him first, so that he could make an assessment and tell them, what type of person he is. The psychologist came back and said he's a psychopath. He's a massive narcissist and a psychopath. And you just have to be careful with how you interview him, or you'll get nothing from him. So the best thing you can do is just let him talk, and he'll just dig a hole. And sure enough, he does. He just cannot stop. He's talking about this, that, and the other. How he's having an affair and his marriage has never worked, and all this stuff.
Wow.
Oh, it's insane. It's just insane.
Just
worth a watch for sure.
And they incriminate themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
What have you been up to, Lewlew, this week? You've been quiet.
This week I have been reaching out to and chatting to people for Jingle Jam.
Oh my god, man!
Starting that.
It's like
wheel
only
rolling.
June.
It's a year long. I've been every time I've been down to the office when it's not Jingle Jam. Lulu's answering and sorting emails for lining shit up. The man is a fucking machine.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been playing a few games because it's been Steam Next Fest.
Oh shit! Yeah,
what
I
is
haven't checked it
the
out.
Next Fest? What does it mean?
It's basically a load of shit, completely unfinished demos of early
Yeah.
honestly, like
It's celebrating all this stuff that's coming out in like a year.
Yeah, but the problem is none of that shit is even close to ready. But Steam almost demands that they have a playable demo, right? Because otherwise, people don't want to just add stuff to their wish list. They do have a few games in there that you can't play, but mostly it's the whole point is this celebration of upcoming games with demos. But so many of them are so far away, and it's like kind of the biggest festival that everyone wants to take part. And as a result, like most of the demos are shit.
I played a good one recently called Hollywood Animal, which is it's by the guys that do This Is the Police, but it's like the golden age of Hollywood, like before the Great Depression. And you basically manage a studio, and you have to commission films, and you have to train up your staff and get directors and producers and stuff that can make better and better movies. And it's just like, it's like the movies without the game The Movies, the Lionhead Studios game from a long time ago, without like the dorky make the movies and then publish them to YouTube. There's none of that stuff, but all the management stuff seems really nice. Actually,
you streamed that. Was that a sponsored thing?
It was a sponsored thing, yeah. But I'm really looking forward to coming out to play it some more.
The one I did play that I really thought was good was Tactical Breach Wizards.
Oh yeah, is it any good?
Which is
someone recommended it to me.
Tom Francis, who was the journalist who sort of changed to a game dev. He made Gunpoint, and then he made Heat Signature. This is his third game, and sometimes that's
the magic.
Game devs really pick up their stride. Anyway, he's this Tactical Breach Wizards. This space it feels a lot like XCOM Chimera Squad, right? In its small scale XCOM room battles. You breach, you have to solve the puzzle of if I send this guy here and this guy here. Right. But the whole thing is like these it's got these wizards who have guns, and this whole universe of druids and guns. It's honestly really cool. The writing and the story is just really funny and fun and good.
Nice.
And I liked it a lot. And the universe is cool. It looks great. It plays really well. You can tell that he has played Chimera Squad and XCOM, and all of those things that you expect.
Yes.
In there, right? And the great thing about it is it's very much rewindy, like almost like Into the Breach or whatever. But even better than that, you can basically fully rewind every turn. And you can play out what would happen on the enemy turn. So you can sort of see, oh, right, he's going to walk around here and walk into my, Overwatch and die. So it's very satisfying.
Oh, cool. It doesn't come out till August, which is not that long away. That's like two
But the
months.
demo's really good. It's an hour and a bit.
I
It's worth
don't play
playing.
demos anymore. I used to, like, when you'd get PC Zone or something.
Demos seem to be back almost.
Yeah, I agree.
For a while there were no demos, but I think early access has just had such a clobbering over the years that now I think people are saying, okay, let's go back to doing demos to build hype and stuff, because I think certain games early access works really well for, and then other games not at all. You know,
I don't think every game needs early access.
No, I don't think so either.
Something like Baldur's Gate 3, which was an incredibly complex game.
Yeah.
With so many variables, I think absolutely doing like a sort of beta testing thing, almost early access. People are in there, we'll play through the first act. That way you're not spoiling the whole game for yourself. And, we'll figure out all these little finicky combat things that you're like, this spell does this wrong and everything. Iron all that out. Fantastic. But something like, so I've been playing City Skylines a lot lately.
What, 2?
No, 1.
All right.
And I dipped into 2 a little bit, and it's super bare. There's just like nothing there. And I'm not even saying, it doesn't have all the mods that Skylines 1 has, which of course it does. It doesn't.
But actually, the core of the game is still...
It's just very bare, right? There's just not much there.
And, broken as well.
It is broken,
they are working on fixing it, but it's a bit...
But it's been out for a while. And it's like, it was in development for ages. It was meant to come out a while back, didn't. And you kind of thought, okay, that's because they've decided it needs more this or it needs more that. The whole thing feels really like a game. Like it feels now like an early access game.
Yeah,
and I mean,
and I think really, if they just said it's early access, I think they would have probably solved a lot of the issues they're facing now.
And I also think
just
that
such a bad launch.
The community for City Skylines, I think this would have been a good example for early access, because you could say, all right, we're doing City Skylines 2.
A game like that is perfect for early access.
But you have to understand, though, here's the thing, right? In a vacuum, City Skylines 2 would be a fantastic game.
No.
But it exists with City Skylines 1 having such a vast community, a vast, like, years and years of constant updates,
the mods
and passion and love.
And DLC and everything for cities. I mean, it's a huge game that just got better and better and better over the years because of not only the DLC, but all the mods.
The mods
as well.
are amazing.
And it was fantastic to start with.
But 2 still doesn't have modding support.
It does. It does.
Oh, it does now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can go onto Paradox Mods and get mods there. It's way less.
Yes.
There don't seem to be I mean, geez, there's hundreds of thousands of mods for Skylines.
Yeah,
some of them are gameplay mods. Some of them are just assets. If you want a style of architecture, if you want a particular shop, if you want a particular kind of car park, you'll fucking find it. And I've done that. My Skylines 1 has got a really good mod set, thanks to a guy in my chat who helped me out, Jay Cree, and a whole bunch of assets I've added in, and I'm loving it. And Skylines 1 is so good that when you look at Skylines 2, you almost feel like, did this need a sequel? Like, that's the problem, is that it needs to offer more. Now, I love the idea of a sequel that comes in.
That's a really good point.
And fixes some broken stuff from Skylines 1, like the way the traffic is kind of dumb, or the way there's a bit of a weird limit when it comes to building stuff is a little clunky. Update it, absolutely. But we had the same thing with Kerbal Space Program, right?
Yeah.
Kerbal Space Program 2. It's like, do we need a 2? Because 1 is so good and there's all these mods. I feel like unless you're going to reinvent it, in which case it's no longer Skylines 2, it's something else, it needs to be really polished, really good, have enough out of the gate that people are going to come over and at least play it. And even if they go back to 1...
It should be at least as good as the first.
It should. But obviously it's impossible.
With some icing on top.
To have all of these mods in there from day 1, because that took years to build that up. And all the DLC and stuff, I completely get it.
But if the game shipped with the same mod support as the first one, the people who made mods for the first one would happily just have started making mods for the second one.
Yeah.
Or if it had a little bit of early access, modders could have gotten in there.
Get in there, yeah.
Gotten hundreds of mods ready for when the game, went to launch. And
I don't know what happened.
It wouldn't have been as jarring, sort of thing.
I don't know whether it was the
launch. There's so much broken in it, though.
I think you've got to wonder. You can't expect at all, and you never should, to rely on the kindness of the community to embrace your game and make free content for it, right?
You shouldn't.
That shouldn't be part of your marketing plan.
No,
either.
but Skylines is
it's
different,
such a big part of the game. It's like there's lots of games that become kind of defined by the community content. City Skylines being one of them, Skyrim being one of them, Fallout 4 now being one of them. These are games that vanilla, when they shipped, were hugely popular, hugely successful, but the longevity of the game is
100%
down to the community.
XCOM is another great example. XCOM 2.
Yeah.
You've got a bunch of mods for that, and some of them are like must-haves.
RimWorld as well. The DLC that's coming out for RimWorld is fantastic, but man, some of the mods equally fantastic. I mean, the DLC is basically just big streamlined mod packs, isn't it? It's mostly stuff that exists already. But
I mean, but that's the thing is, I feel like if a mod is really good, Tynan just puts it in the next release.
Yeah.
Like he'll just be like, you know what, that's a really good base mechanic. I'll just put that in the game.
Yeah.
And I think with Skylines 2, there were certain mods that, I mean, Traffic Manager is a prime example. The fact that functionality is not in the base game for Skylines 2 makes me think, how did you miss that? Like, that should be such an easy get. It's like, okay, people actually really enjoy the traffic management side of the game. For some reason, it's a fun little puzzle. I enjoy that part of it. But there's just lack of variety in the assets. You'll put a bunch of residential down. They all look really similar.
But it can be.
Where did the years go? It doesn't feel like there's enough there to justify that to me.
I think Cities 2 feels nicer to play. The tool set's nicer. The engine. I don't know if they're using a completely new one or if they've just heavily modified the old one or whatever. I think that side of it feels really good in Cities 2.
Yeah,
but it's all the systems that are so complex that just didn't work. Like when I played it, there was nothing seemed to work, like imports and exports didn't work. The economy didn't work. Like there's just so many things. Like every house complained about high rent.
Yeah.
Like there's these little bubbles above every single house, and you just could not solve it.
Yeah, it was
there was
weird.
Just so many little weird issues that really should have just been fixed before the game came out. But again, if they'd done some early access and or maybe people had hands-on for a lot longer before the game fully launched, it would have been a lot smoother. But
I think a lot of it was pressure from the publisher. I think was certainly what they've sort of hinted at.
Sure, yeah.
That it was like, look, you guys have been working on this for fucking years. We've got to get this out, But I also feel like the huge weight of expectation for a game like Skylines 2, it's very hard. Kerbal Space Program, I know the development for that was like fucking God knows what happened there. It was all over the place. But here's my thing is you take the most popular aspects of the game, you take the most popular mods, you just improve the engine. I know that sounds like, oh, just improve the engine, but I'm just saying in terms of what people would want from a sequel, we're on Civ 7. Civ 7 is coming out. They're not going to completely reinvent Civilization. They're going to do the third thing. It's going to be dog shit for the first couple of years, but out of the box, it's still going to be a playable game. And it's going to be different enough from Civ that people are going to jump over to it and play it because you just want to explore it, right? Skylines 1 is similar to Skylines 2, but Skylines 2 is just less. Like it's not changed or added. It's just less.
I hope they can. I hope they can turn it around. I hope it becomes another No Man's Sky or like Fallout 76. These games that manage to turn themselves around and are now seen as, these are great
Fallout
games.
76 has had a long turning circle, though. Oh my god,
it has had a long one, but it is very good. I've played it a lot. I'm still playing it now. I've played it. There's an expansion just came out.
Anyway, would you like some news?
Wait, it's loose news. Loose news. Loose news.
It's party time. It's excellent.
Speaking of XCOM, and sounds like a bad demo I've played on Next Fest. There's a what's it called? Tactics game called Troubleshooter Abandoned Children. Okay?
What?
With a weird name, but actually it's quite good.
What?
Troubleshooter Abandoned Children.
What the fuck is that? This is anime, Lewis.
I know it's a quite a good turn-based strategy SRPG. I played it. I enjoyed it. Anyway,
how is this news?
One of the reviews was, can you add dating? Right?
Yeah, of course.
And the dev replied saying, sorry, dating system, it's a feature that a lot of people want, but my team members have no experience with it, even in real life.
That's insane.
Neither do the fans. That's why they need it simulated. Come on.
Which I think is wonderfully honest and also very funny.
Oh, that's funny.
That is a brilliant comment.
There's been a record broken in Counter-Strike 2. A coveted weapon skin.
Oh my god, yeah.
Has sold for $1 million.
Yeah,
which weapon skin is it?
It's an AK skin. It's a rare one, but very
rare. Blue gem AK-47 skin.
$1 million bucks.
Yeah. It's like, I think it's from, you can only get it from a much older box, and it's the chance of getting it is super rare in itself, and then getting this version, like the factory new or whatever, with this. It's like vanishingly small chance of getting it in the first place. And look, if you're some super rich lad with way more money than sense and you just want to collect this shit, people are going to collect shit. People pay all that money for Magic the Gathering cards and comic books. I don't think this is any different.
Yeah, it's actually wild, but yes,
I mean, it's crazy, but it's not like this is anything new. People paying over the odds for some collectible. Well,
exactly, Pokemon cards and stuff. There was a Pokemon festival happening in the Philippines.
Called?
The premier Pokemon-themed expo called
Pokefest?
Pokeverse.
Oh, of course, all right. Yeah.
However, it went terrible. Like
was it like the Lego thing?
Fire Festival style, Lego style. It had it was like a fan run event, so it was that promised all these things like big guests, activities, and officially licensed merchandise, but although not official, officially licensed. And it was a little bit like the Wonka experience or the classic like DashCon or whatever, where it was like when the expo finally opened, guests were greeted by a large barren space. The starter wall of one Bulbasaur plushie, one Charizard plushie, one Squirtle plushie. There was no giant Pikachu as promised.
I have realized there is a fundamental difference between collecting CSGO skins and anything else I listed. So one is digital. So you're not even going to own it forever because, these things are ephemeral, aren't they? You can't leave. And didn't Valve even say you can't leave your Steam account to someone in a will? I think was a bit of news that they came out with the other week as well.
Yeah, that was the thing. It's like your Steam account dies with you, which is a bit weird because a lot of people have these weird Steam accounts. Like if you run like a cafe, like an internet cafe, right? You've probably got like 10 Steam accounts or more, with all these games on that you've bought multiple copies of. And yeah, but then again, Flax, you know how corporations are people. There's a thing, isn't it? But does that mean they're only allowed one Steam account for the whole corporation?
Wait, are they people or was it that they're not people? I can't remember.
No, I think they are people. Corporations
they're not
are
people, though, are they? Everybody knows that.
Well, I mean,
some smarty pants corporate lawyer proved that they are, and now apparently they are, but we know they're not. It's gibberish.
Corporations are people. Anyway,
are they like clams and crabs? Obviously, yeah, they are people.
There's apparently a thing called Diamond Shrooms microdosing chocolate bars, right?
Where can you get them?
That you can get. Well, I wouldn't, because people have been having loss of consciousness, seizures, confusion, sleepiness, agitation, abnormal heart rates, hypo or hypertension, nausea, and vomiting.
Right, this is my everyday, so this doesn't sound like it's going to have any effect.
Yeah, so it turns out eating shrooms, even in a chocolate bar form, has the same chance of giving you...
I know people that have done shrooms tons, and they've never had all that shit.
No, me too.
I think this is bad shrooms, man.
Some bad shrooms. Yeah, well, it's always tricky, isn't it? Because I guess these shrooms are I guess they're still foraged. A lot of them you can't farm. I think it's quite difficult to farm certain mushrooms.
Are they unruly crops, mushrooms?
So you have to go and actually get them yourself. And as a result, if you've got this product that you're selling loads of that needs to source all of these mushrooms, then it's not consistent, is it? That's what industry wants. It wants consistency, and that's what you think you're buying when you're getting like something in a box, right? If you're getting like some shrooms off your mate and they look like mushrooms in a little bag, they're probably, he or she or they probably know where they came from, right?
Filled with dog shit. little flecks of dog shit.
God.
Right.
Next.
Well, if you're letting your dog near those hallucinogenic mushrooms.
Dogs can eat mushrooms, I think. There are things, the list of things dogs can't eat is ridiculous. But I'm pretty sure mushrooms is okay. Can dogs eat mushrooms?
I mean, hallucinogenic ones,
Shop-bought mushrooms are fine. However, mushrooms in meals are often cooked with added extras such as salt, as well as onions and garlic. Onions and garlic you can't give to doggos. No.
Really?
Yeah. Onions.
They can't have onions or garlic?
No.
What if I call my dog Super Mario?
No.
Still not allowed.
Well, you can give him mushrooms. Mario doesn't eat onions and garlic, does he?
course he does. He's eating the pasta. You gotta
He's Italian.
There is, you know what? That's funny. There is no pasta in any of the Mario games, is there?
Hey, no, you're right, actually. Thinking about it. He does eat mushrooms, though. Lots of
He
them.
does go down the tubes though.
He eats
they're like
flowers.
spaghetti. It's because he's a plumber. That's why he could be any. He could be any
pen.
nationality.
He eats flowers. He eats mushrooms.
Stars.
Yeah.
Can we? This has been
Raccoon
a thing.
tails.
Yeah.
What's your favorite type of pasta, guys?
What, as in like fettuccine, spaghetti, linguine, that kind of? Or do you mean?
I like
dish?
fusilli. You know, like the spirally stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's so good.
Farfalle is
Fusilli.
okay, but it kind of breaks up a little bit at the edges. Is unstable formation.
Farfalle is
Little
that's the
bow tie.
bow ties. That's the worst one.
Do you know what I can't
that's
eat
why I
anymore?
said it breaks up at the
I
edges.
can't
but-
eat filled
That's the
pasta
shittest
anymore.
one.
It just burns a hole in my gut like there's no
Really?
tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just getting old. I can eat normal pasta with sauce, no problem. But filled pasta, there's something in it. I'm telling you. I don't know
I'm
what
not
it
a big
is.
fan of filled pasta. I like the sauce.
I like
In all honesty,
I have filled pasta with a bit of sauce. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
casarecce, which is like It's called homemade. It's just real simple folded shape.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
That's nice. You can get some really nice ones. Rigatoni, I like.
What's that?
That's it's like a penne, but thicker. It's like a
Penne
bigger
is
penne. It's like
nice.
giant penne.
Penne
I
is
don't
like
like that.
is like the BA lounge special, isn't it? Like every
It's just
time
a
you
good solid pasta.
every time you're in an airport lounge, you got some
Penne is the basic
pasta,
bitch
baby.
pasta. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Fusilli's good because it has a lot of surface area with the spiral. You get a lot of
yeah.
sauce
I think
on
the
that.
it's a
spiral
thick-
is good.
All right,
Stick.
concigli.
There
I
is,
like
um,
concigli. That's a good pasta as well.
The conchiglione, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever they are.
But you know what? I just like. I really
the
love
ones that are like little conch shells. They're the
vermicelli,
best.
spaghetti, linguine. I like those.
What about
the strand.
fettuccine? What about making a bridge out of fettuccine like you
I like
used to
fettuccine. I like
do
fettuccine.
in do you ever do that in design and tech class? You have to make a fettuccine bridge and then you had to like put a sandbag underneath it
Of
to see if it
course.
would break and stuff.
Of course.
That's how you got started with Bridge Constructor.
That's right, yeah. And then when it breaks,
Pasta
it
Bridge
breaks into a
Constructor
pot and you
Simulator.
boil it up and the whole class gets to eat a little bit.
What about
I did wanna give-
lumaconi?
I did want to give one shout out to a game I played, a demo of.
Cresti
actually.
di
It's
gallo,
called-
cavatelli, cavatappi, canaroni, calamarata,
Macaroni.
tortelloni, tortellini,
He stuck a feather in
capaletti,
his cap and called it rice-a-roni.
and called
macaroni.
it mezzalune. Different kind of thing.
So, do you remember Peglin? Did you like Peglin?
I've never done it, mate.
Peglin.
It's like the little pachinko
Yes.
style roguelike
Yeah.
game.
That's
right?
exactly how it's described on Steam. Well done, Lewlew.
Thank you. There's one in Next Fest which I saw called Dungeon Clawler, right?
Okay.
And it's a claw machine version. So you basically have to grab stuff out of a claw machine, drop it in a hole, and that's the attacks and the defenses.
This looks good.
so it's
this
like, this
penguin.
thing's going to attack me. I need to like grab some shields out of the claw
I
machine.
got some big news
And
for you
it's-
guys, actually.
It's great. I recommend it.
Guess what
I enjoyed
came
it a lot.
out a couple of days ago?
A big poop you'd been brewing up for some time.
Close.
Okay.
Actually, it's the Starfield creation kit. So now we can expect such heavy hitters as innies of Starfield and
Big
boobs.
titties.
Oh no.
Boobs, schlongs of Starfield.
Oh no.
That game came out. I saw the reviews. I saw people stream it. I could not be less interested.
Once
in
there's some
Starfield.
mods for it, it'll be really good. Trust me.
Starfield.
I've been playing Skyrim again recently for like the 5th time, and I'm playing this mod called Legacy of the Dragonborn, which makes you own a museum to which you have a fully custom voice acted curator who helps you find things and sometimes just curates random things for you. There is places to display up to like, I think it's 4,000 plus items. I mean, everything, anything that you get in the game, you can display in this thing. And it even goes as far as if you complete like a dungeon, or you complete like a full quest line. Like I completed the College of Winterhold thing yesterday. It's a quick one. you get like this nice little scene. It updates like your museum. There's quests in the museum.
Wow.
Like
that sounds so good.
It is insane. It's so good.
Really satisfied that collector's vibe.
It's like Stardew Valley in Skyrim, but it's got all these little quests, and like the museum slowly evolves as you're playing. Like yesterday I built an explorers guild hall which attaches to the museum, and you can hire people to come in and go do excavations, and there's all these unique items that they can find, and it's mad. It's so much fun though. You imagine they add stuff like that to Starfield? I mean, they just released an update for Starfield where you can customize the insides of your ships and stuff.
Well, I mean, thank God.
I'm telling you, the creation kit's going to go nuts on this game.
The Starfield was trash. I had to stop playing because I knew that it was going to
I did two quests in the main story. I played for like 100 hours and I only did two quests in the main story.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But you are able to entertain yourself with some details of a game that I think for most people are added background, whereas you're like, I'm going to get every one of these bobbleheads or whatever.
I love that. Yeah, I do love that.
It's remarkable.
I played 60 hours of Starfield, and I did like 2 of the main quests. I did a lot of base building and shit like that. But again, with the creation kit and mods and stuff, it should. I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like this will be a great sandbox when there's more to do. You know,
they can't just. They have to keep going. Like I think what Cyberpunk turned itself around.
Yeah,
a bit
Cyberpunk. I still need to play that. Actually,
same. Yeah, I haven't done that either.
I haven't played it. Yeah.
Last time I tried to stream it, I got 5 FPS.
Apparently all that's sorted out, and the DLC, what is it, Phantom Liberty or something?
Phantom Liberty
is meant to be really good.
I'd have to start again from all the way from the beginning. I
like these big sandbox RPG games. I like the Bethesda games. I like how they're just like these really, really large puddles. You know, like they're not deep, but then with the mods and stuff, it just transforms the game. Like Fallout 4, for example, there's so many good mods for. I mean, they were all busted recently because of a kind of random out of the blue update for Fallout 4. But like, same with Skyrim, man, there's so many good mods. Like before I did this one, Legacy of the Dragonborn, I did this other one called Blackthorn, which is like you build your own town. It's like in between, I think it's like Rorikstead and Riften in what is normally just like a massive area of like forest. You build your own town and you attract people to the town to work at all the different places like the blacksmith and stuff. And they all earn money for you. So you're out adventuring, you come back and you just collect. You just like a tax collector. You get all this money. And there's a museum as well that you can display all your shit in. It was so much fun. I played that too. But this one is even better. You get this like really, really swanky museum in Solitude. Highly recommend.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was it. That was an official DLC like Hearthfire, wasn't it?
What, the build your own house stuff?
Yeah. So all the mechanics are kind of semi-already in
that's
there,
it.
right?
Yeah.
It's just extending them to be better.
That's it.
You know, it's taking something that they added and being like, yep, do you know what? We're going to make a mod to make this DLC better.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my God. Well, that's all we got time for today. Thank you for listening, everyone. We'll see you all next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.